We are live. Welcome everyone, my brothers and sisters, wherever you are, whether in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, I bring you warm greetings from North America. I'm here to talk about the things we always talk about every Tuesday. You know what it is. It's 9 p.m. Nigerian time. I'll bring you Nigerian Constitution, Know Your Right. Nigerian Constitution and Your Right. It's a program powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. Every Tuesday, 9 p.m., we'll gather here and stream on 3 different platforms, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. So please, as we're about to delve into the conversation for today, I want you to take a minute and share the links, share this message, invite your brothers and sisters, invite your friends, your neighbors to join in today's episode as we learn about the Nigerian Constitution and to empower you to be able to live freely and express and stand by your right, because that is what is guaranteed by the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended. And today I'll be having a guest join me, a barrister, that's a learned fellow, a learned Nigerian. He will help us dissect today's conversation and today's topics. What opinions do you have? What opinion do you have as a Nigerian? And does your opinion matter? But we're asking, what opinion do you have? Does your opinion matter? Is your opinion protected? Can you express that opinion? So we'll see what the law or the Constitution say about it as we go ahead. So let me invite my guests as we go ahead. Greetings, Barrister Joseph. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience and then say hello to the Nigerians?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Edmond Ikeh. My name is Joseph Temdo Bagyo. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm also a publisher. I'd like to thank you very much for having me on the show. And let me also appreciate Nigerians all over the globe listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a very, very privilege for you to accept to come to the show, and I hope we'll collaborate with you more often in the future. So hopefully this is just the beginning of future more collaboration in the future. All right, thank you very much. And we're going to jump in without much delay. You heard the topic today is what opinion do you have, or what opinion do Nigerians have? And the idea is, are our opinion protected? What does the law say about our opinion? And we're going to focus more on the Section 39 of the Constitution, because we have been, for the past 7 weeks, we've been on the journey of dissecting or exploring the 14 fundamental rights of Nigerians. And these 14 fundamental rights of Nigeria is covered in Chapter 4 of the Constitution, Section 33, all the way to Section 46. And that is what we've been doing sequentially, section by section. So I'll yield the floor to you, Barrister Joseph. Can you please tell us if Nigerians' opinions are actually protected by law? Before we read the Constitution, I want to hear your view as a legal practitioner.
Yeah, I think to a very large extent, Nigeria is practicing a theoretical democracy. Let me put it that way. Theoretical democracy because we intend, or rather we claim, to emulate the nascent democracies of advanced nations, but we have refused to learn the basic things they do rightly. So here is a country that the rights of the citizen is only in theory, but when it comes to practical reality of ascertaining whether or not the right of every citizen in this country, Nigeria, is being protected, I think to some very large extent is not it's not realistic. And by that I mean, you read every day, people talk about human rights, people talk about the rights of citizens and all of that. But when it comes to actually taking steps to protect those rights, you find a different thing. You go to public offices, what you see is a mess. You go to into the street, it's a mess. You go to the police station, what you see is a mess. You go to the DSS, go to Nigerian Civil Defense and Civil Defense Corps, WAS, and other community security outfit like the vigilante group and other security, local security outfit. It's even worse because those ones don't even have the basic trainings at all. So what to say is just, so by and large, what we see in Nigeria, we are very, very far from the people we are claiming to be emulating or we are trying to emulate. So in my opinion, in my humble opinion, and with every deep sense of respect and humility, I think the human rights issue, the fundamental right of every citizen in this country is not guaranteed. And I speak from a practical experience because oftentimes you are scared of certain things because you don't know what next will happen to you. That is the country we have found ourselves. It's quite appalling. It's quite unfortunate because if you look at our global index, our position on the global peace index, we are still in the red zone, meaning all over the country, what you see is just blood. People are not happy, IDP situation, all of this on gory sites or gory images you see every day. So I think, to say the least, if we are far-fetched from saying that the right of citizens in this country is fully guaranteed or protected.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Joseph, for that. So you've, by and large, said that the human rights of Nigerians is not guaranteed. Although we're going to read those section 39 in a few minutes. But I want to ask you, since, according to you, from your experience as a legal practitioner, you've seen all this goriness and unlawlessness in the land. So how do we move from the theoretical aspect of the law of what is guaranteed or not guaranteed by the law of the land? How do we move it from theory to practical?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, fine. Now look at the beauty of chapter 4 of our Constitution, right? And when you start reading from section 33, which deals with the right to life, to section 34, to 35, 36, and down to section 42, which prohibits all forms of discrimination against people and all of that. Sounds quite beautiful. And when you go further, it gives every citizen the right to protect his or her right where it is about to be infringed or has been infringed. But doctor, let's look at it this way. How do you enjoy your right to life when the environment is not safe? How do you enjoy your right to life or your right to liberty or your freedom of expression when state actors have refused to play their own part? And by that I mean, if you look at our Constitution, in section 14 of that Constitution, we have have a social contract. We as citizens of the country, we have a social contract with the people, with our leaders, those whom we have elected into offices to lead us. There's a social contract between us and them. And that is the spirit of Chapter 2 of the Constitution, which deals with the fundamental objective and direct principles of state policies. That is where the practicality of it lies. Because you can only enjoy your right to life when your social security is guaranteed as contained in chapter 2 of the Constitution. But what do you see? The same Constitution has placed a clog in the wheel of enjoying those rights when in section 6, subsection 6, paragraph C has made the fundamental objective and direct principles of state policies non-justiciable. So when the government or when those whom we have elected have failed to play their own part or have failed to fulfill their terms or conditions contained in the social contract, you cannot take them to court. Now, doctor, tell me, where then lies your rights, or where then lies the guarantee for you to enjoy your right to life when section 21, which deals with environment, is being violated and you cannot justify? So if somebody wakes up and decides that he is going to smoke up all the place, he is going to pollute all the environment, and because you cannot go to court and enforce it because of the non-justiciability of it, tell me, is your right to life guaranteed? Is your liberty guaranteed? Is your dignity guaranteed? That is the theoretical aspect I'm talking about.
All right. So
if we want to make it practical, let's make chapter 2 becomes justiciable, so that this right can go hand in hand with those in chapter 4, and you see, life would be good.
Okay. Who is responsible to make it practicable? Is it the executive or the legislative? Who is at fault here?
Yes, both of them are guilty of it. Both of them are guilty of it because one wants to gain advantage over the other, so he has to influence the other not to do the right thing. That is why we are in this current quagmire, if you ask me. Because if the state houses of assembly will know that they are watchdogs of the society and they will do what is right of them to do, I think the state government, or the executive, will sit up. But because this executive wants certain things to be done in their own way, they manipulate the state houses of assembly and things are not properly done. Now, same at the national, at the federal executive level, is the same thing. They manipulate the National Assembly, that is the Senate and the House of Representatives. And you can see this when it comes to constitutional amendments. Those sections that affect them are not looked into. Take, for instance, the issue of local government, for instance, as contained in section 7 of the Constitution. Why is it that up to today, the National Assembly, the Constitution has undergone 4 amendments, where on the 5th amendment is being handled with.
I think your network is becoming shaky. There's like pause between your statements. There are pauses between your statement. So this show is supposed to be conversational. We'll bring in the comments from the viewers. So I'm going to take a moment to read the comment from the viewers. Then we'll continue with the show. Thank you very much. So let me take a quick moment to read the comments. All right, we have a comment from Prince Emade Concon say, greetings everyone. Greetings to you, Prince. And next we have Mark Irabo. He said, by revelation. I don't know what that means. What is this revelation? Is there a revelation that Nigeria is getting better tomorrow? I would like that revelation. And then Mark Irabo says, good evening, my people. Good evening to you, Mark. And then again, Mark Irabo says both of them are guilty. I guess he's responding to the question when I say, is this executive or is it legislative that is guilty of why we don't have a practical aspect, or we don't enjoy the practical aspect of our laws instead of just having them in theory. All right. And Mark says network. Yeah, I think his network is having issues, so he just left and is gonna come back in. So let me put him back to the stream, and hopefully this fixes the problem. I hope this fixes the problem. Say something, Barrister. Let's know if. Say something. The network was having issues.
Sorry for. I got some interception.
I think you sound better now. That's much better.
Like I was saying, both of them.
So round up your statement on what you're saying about the local government and not being clear.
Yeah. So, like the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, is on the 4th Amendment. We are currently moving to the 5th Amendment, and up to today, everybody is foot dragging. The National Assembly, the state houses of assembly are withholding their two-third resolution to pass local government autonomy. I mean, so where do we go from here? I mean, so these are the issues. So both of them are guilty. If one of them decide to say, no, we will stamp our authority, we will do the right thing, we will make sure that we are not serving personal interest, but we are serving the interest of a common man on the street, I think this country will be a good place to live, you know. So there are a lot of compromises, a lot of selfish agenda, a lot of unpatriotism and inexperience, and the whole lot of them is why we are in all of. So if you ask me, both of them are guilty. The state, the executive is guilty. The legislature is both guilty, also guilty of it. So the blame is not on one side.
Thank you for making those points. I think we're going to take a quick break, and when we'll come back, we'll continue the conversation. And we're going to actually read chapter 30, section 39 of the Constitution when we come back from the break. So my people, I'm going to go on a break now. Thank you.
Register to vote and collect your PVC now. Affliction shall not rise a second time.
That is why we members of Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, GCSDN, is calling on all Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, religion, and political affiliation, to embrace our new formula known as 23 unto 23, which means you must encourage 23 persons to register for their voters card. Then the 23 persons should get another 23 persons to register too for their PVC. If 23 is multiplied by 23, we shall arrive at 529 voters card. If 189,035 of us do this, we shall have 100 million voters ready gidigba for the 2023 elections. By December 2022, GCSDN shall organize a global online election where we shall all choose the presidential candidate to support in the 2023 elections. We must elect a patriotic and visionary servant, a servant that will put our country and our citizens' rights above his or her personal interests. Oya, let the journey begin.
This message is powered by Prince Ewemade Concourse, PROGCSDN.
Welcome back, my people. As you watch that video, it's calling on all Nigerians to get your PVC and vote, because the conversation we're having now, as you heard from the barrister, the executive branch of the arm of the government can be held responsible, and also the legislative arm of the government should be held responsible for the failure of having the practical aspect of Nigerian enjoying all the beautiful things that have been enshrined in our law, all the things that have been guaranteed by law, but we don't enjoy them because the executive have failed to secure the country. The executive have failed to ensure that they uphold the law by which they swore to uphold when they were elected into office. And then the legislature do not make laws that favor the people. That's why they shall be held accountable. And one other arm of government that they would not mention is the judicial arm of government, which I believe is supposed to also be watchdog and hold both the legislative and the executive accountable. Like when the executive government is failing the people, the judiciary should take action and make sure that court orders are respected and court orders are issued immediately without delay and executed without delay. So I'll pass back the mic to my the learned barrister. So what do you think is the role of the judiciary in all this mess?
Yeah, it still boils down to the constitution we are talking about. Now, doctor, we have a judiciary in this country, that is not independent, right? A judiciary that draws her monthly wages, her entitlement from the executive. So what do you expect? They say who plays the piper dictates the tune, So that's another dimension to it. So grants full autonomy to the judiciary, the executive said no. And you begin to ask, why? What is their reason for holding on to the non-independence of the judiciary? Perhaps
I thought the judiciary was given independence last year or sometime early this year. Last year, doesn't go through? Is it still a process?
If you ask me now, like Plateau State government, Plateau State judiciary, I'm fully aware they are still on strike. So the states were allowed to go and negotiate. The federal government allowed the state to go and negotiate with the judiciaries in their own states. And you can begin to imagine. So but it is not.
The constitution made the judiciary independent. Every arm of government should be independent. The legislative are independent, the executive are independent, and the judiciary.
Yeah, that is how it is. That is how it is, but there are negations to it. Negations because appointment of judges, appointment of heads of courts is done by the executive with the approval of the legislature. So these are the issues, So
I think the executive appointing judges and based on the approval of the legislature is a non-issue. The issue is who is paying. I think the judiciary should have a separate budget, a separate post. But because in democracy, in most democracies of the world, the executive are going to appoint judges in order, but they have a separate budget. That's the problem. It's the payment that's the problem, not the appointment.
So if you agree with me I agree with you on that. Absolutely, I agree with you. But it's a negation because when you now appoint and you also pay them and you have refused to give them independence to run their affairs in their own manner, are they really independent? That is the issue. That is the issue. So the judiciary is not actually independent wholly as we think, and that is why we keep having these problems and problems upon problems when it comes to governance in this country.
All right, thank you. I think one more guest just joined us, so I'm going to add him to the stream and then read the Constitution. Okay. I just added him. Please, Mr. Ikeh, can you unmute yourself and turn on your video and introduce yourself to the audience and say your greetings to the Nigerians? Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, introduce yourself to the audience and And
Good
turn on your
evening.
video so that we can see you. The audience can see.
Okay, I'm in Nigeria. Okay, I think that's for the video, I'm sorry. I have low battery, and where I am right now, of course, Nigeria, there is no light. So even if I turn on my video, I may not be seen. So sorry, I will rather remain in the studio with that video for now.
No problem. I'm about to read the section 39 of the Constitution, and I will throw a question to you as we continue conversation. So, section 39 of the Constitution says this. It says, every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinion and to receive and impart ideas and information without interference. It says, without prejudice to the generality of subsection 1 of this section, every person shall be entitled to own, establish, and operate any medium for the dissemination of information, ideas, and opinions, provided that no person other than the government of the Federation or the state or any other person or body authorized by the President on the fulfillment of conditions laid down by the Act of the National Assembly shall own, establish, or operate a television or wireless broadcasting station for any purpose whatsoever. So nothing in this section shall invalidate any law that is reasonably justifiable in a democratic society for the purpose of preventing the disclosure of information received in confidence, maintaining the authority and independence of the court, or regulating telephone, wireless broadcasting, television, or exhibition of cinematographic films. It said, imposing restrictions upon person holding office under government of the Federation or of a state, member of the armed forces, or of the Federation of members of Nigerian police force, or other government security service or agency established by law. So that is what the section 39 of the 1999 Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria has amended. So, Mr. Ikeh, who just joined us. So, what is your take on the Nigerians' opinion? Are Nigerians truly allowed to express their opinions? What is your take on that? Please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ikeh. I am Dr. Edmond. Talking about freedom of expression in Nigeria. I don't know. The thing is, there is one thing in Africa if there is one thing I know in Africa is that we know how to abuse things. Yes. As for there is a provision for freedom of expression in the Constitution, but the fact is that even the citizen has agreed or has gone to an extent of abusing this freedom of expression, to an extent, and that is why in a lawless place like our country, Nigeria, you will see the president going against the Constitution by, willingly on his own veto power now, or whatever gives him that power, to start tampering on people's rights by monitoring or sanctioning what happens or what people say on social media or on the television station. In Nigeria, we've seen so far or severally where some on AOPs, that's an on-air personality, are being sanctioned or being asked to step down from their position because of one thing or the other they've said, especially when you talk about the people in politics, most especially the president or the military personnel. You see, as much as in Nigeria, as much, or even in Africa, as much as you don't talk about the politicians, as much as you don't talk about their fraudulent activities, then you can go on and do what they say, whatever you want. That is when your freedom of expression works. But hence you start to talk about their fraudulent activities, then you have no freedom. They will remind you that you have no freedom of expression. We can take a look at, we can recall of issue of Delegiwa. Yeah, Delegiwa, during the time of, I think it was Babangida also. you know, and we record that song from Fela Nicola Kuti, you know, who Gidana you sabi, you know. So he received the letter bomb because he thinks he has freedom of expression. So they couldn't find a better way to, you know. So that is the African we have found ourselves. Of course, we have it. Does it really work? No, it does not. It's not working.
Thank you very much for that input. So you are generally saying the same thing like the learned colleague, Barrister Joseph, that clearly said that Nigeria, we do have all this in our laws. It's just a theory, but it's not really impractical. And when it comes to Nigeria, so as always, we'll read comment as we go about the show. So I'll take a quick comment. I think, and we'll continue with the show. A Delight Watch says there is no democracy in our country, Nigeria. All leaders are 419. So no democracy in Nigeria. That is what Idolite Watch says. So please, everyone that is watching, keep commenting, join the conversation, because this show is interaction between myself, the guests, and the audience. So if you're watching, invite your friends, your family member to watch and learn what does the law say in the Constitution, and how do you go about ensuring that you are empowered and expressing your right at all time. And eventually, one day, as more people continue to rise, express their right, and stand up for their rights, Nigeria will become a country whereby our laws are actually practical and not just theory. All right. So I think we're almost out of time. This show is supposed to be a 30 minutes show, so we are 31 minutes in. So I'll take a quick break, and when I come back, I'll give you guys opportunity to just give 1 minute each. 1 minute each of your closing remark to the public, and we call it a day. All right.
This is the former bridge that was here, and this is the old one. So we've seen the structure and what the rent have done. We've got around and we're taking our assessments from what we're seeing here right now. This is the debris from the old bridge. Beyond down there is where we're taking our assessment point from. Not longer here again because a lot of work should be done. Either you remove this one, the cost of removing this and this will be cost implementation is high as well.
All right, welcome back. There's a short break. That bridge or culvert or whatever you want to call it, it's built by the community in Obofia, a ward of Uhehi village, Agule school town, Agwata local government of Anambra State. It collapsed or destroyed by erosion and powerful rain flood last September, and the government had refused to pay attention to it. First, Uli Obiano government, and now Chachuma Soludo government. It's just a new government, so we're promoting and drawing the attention till maybe the new government do something about it, because the community is literally being separated from one another. There's no access to their brothers on downtown, to the brothers in uptown. So something needs to be done. And I take it upon myself to make sure I show it every Tuesday until a solution is found, or until the government do something to help these people out. So that is that. So this show is every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time. It's called Nigerian Constitution and Your Right. Nigerian Constitution, Know Your Right. Can you hear me, Barrister Joseph? Can you guys hear me? It seems there's a connection problem. Can you guys hear me? Say something if you can hear me. Sure.
I can hear you now.
Okay. What about you, Barrister Joseph? Can you hear me? Barrister Joseph, unmute yourself and say something, because All right. I think he mute yourself, Barrister Joseph, and say something. So yeah,
I
so this
think that
show
was
every 9
I
p.m.
think
on Tuesday. I mean, every Tuesday 9
I
p.m.
think
Nigerian
that was
time.
a
That's where we have
disconnection
this
problem.
show. Nigerian Constitution, Know Your Rights. It's powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria.
I think that was a connection problem. Okay, he's around now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's having connection problem. Say something, Barrister Joseph. Your mouth is moving, but we can't hear you. Because we need it. Can
He should
you
check his
go
mic.
out and come back in?
He should check his mic. He should check his mic.
Yeah, check your mic, go out and come back in. All right, let's wrap up this. We are almost out of time. So yeah, every Tuesday Nigerian time, just join the show. Invite your friends, invite your brothers and sisters. So that we'll learn together. It's not just for you; it's for every Nigerian, wherever you are, all over the 36 states, or even in the diaspora. Log in and learn so that we can be better citizens and we can hold our government accountable to make sure our rights are respected at all times and at all places as Nigerians. So that is why we have this show. So time to wrap up. I will yield the floor to my brother, Mr. Ikeh. Give your 1 minute closing remark. What do you want to tell Nigerians?
Okay. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Edmond. I don't have much to say to Nigeria now, but we've heard it from you, just like you read out the Constitution correctly. There is a provision in the Constitution of Nigeria, giving every citizen the right to voice out their opinion. And then there's a constitution not restricting any form of media or medium of expression. So what I would just encourage Nigerians is that they should keep up listening or following up programs like this, so that they will have a venue where they can learn and understand their constitutional rights, so that at all time they will be able to express their opinion, or able to know when their right is being trampled upon. So that is what I have to say to Nigerians. So let us keep up abreast with a program like this. Always follow on a program like this, because I understand that barely do you have Africans going through constitution saying they are going to study their constitutional right or whatever. But on a short programs like this is a very good guide. So let us try as much as possible to always key into a lovely program like this and then learn our constitutional rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that input, and I hope Nigerians are listening and will keep in to listen to this show and every show that is similar to this, so that we can learn our constitution. Over to you, Barrister Joseph. 1 minute closing remark to Nigerians.
Yeah, I want to sincerely thank the organizers of this show for this wonderful initiative to enlighten Nigerians about their rights and issues of governance and other issues. And I think we have come to a point in this country where the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should not just be an instrument only in the hands of the lawyers alone. It's an instrument, it's a document that everybody is supposed to carry, because it's only by that, it's only by understanding what your rights are that you can only assert them and also enforce them, and also ask relevant questions as far as issues of governance is concerned. And as for the rights, particularly as it relates to freedom of expression, I think it is not just for us to say we are in a country that is full of undemocratic principles. We'll continue to air out our minds until we get it right as a nation. So I want to thank you very much for having me on the show, and I also pledge my time and commitment for further engagement as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Joseph. Thank you very much, Mr. Igwe. I appreciate you guys taking your time to participate in today's edition of Nigerian Constitution and Your Right, powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. For who that do not know, Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria is an organization or an NGO, a non-profit organization that has been in existence since 2019. It has a headquarters here in Texas, USA. It had 40 other chapters it had chapter in 40 countries and chapter in about 26 states, with the hope of having chapter in all 36 states and Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. So, and it powers this show every Tuesday and every other show. There's a show going on this platform every day of the week by different hosts. But I, as your anchor, I'm only hosting on Tuesdays. So you can, if you have time, you can also tune in any other day and participate in other shows, other programs that enlightens Nigerians and educate Nigerians and keep Nigerians awake and better citizens. Thank you very much for listening. And this is where I leave you until next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Thank you once again, Barrister Joseph, and thank you, Mr. Igwe.
Yeah, thank you very much for